In this lesson, we're going to talk about governance and compliance. Now, governance refers to the overall management of the organization's IT infrastructure, policies, procedures, and operations. This involves the establishment of a strategic framework that aligns with the organization's objectives and regulatory requirements. This framework includes the rules, responsibilities, and practices that are going to guide an organization in achieving its goals and managing its overall IT resources. Now, governance is crucial for several reasons, including risk management, strategic alignments, resource management and performance measurement, and many others. In terms of risk management, governance helps us to identify, assess, and manage potential risks that could impact our organization's security. Strategic alignment, on the other hand, is a fancy way of saying that we want to ensure the organization's IT strategy aligns with its overall business objectives. Resource management, on the other hand, is going to be supported by governance by making sure we have an efficient and effective use of our resources. And performance measurement is going to be focused on making sure we have mechanisms in place for monitoring and measuring the performance of our IT processes. After that, we're going to start talking about compliance. Now, compliance, on the other hand, is going to refer to the adherence to laws, regulations, standards, and policies that apply to an organization's operations. In the IT world, compliance means ensuring that the organization's IT systems and processes meet the required security standards and regulations. Compliance is important for many reasons, including legal obligations, trust and reputation, data protection, and business continuity. Now, in terms of legal obligations, if you have non-compliance, this can lead to legal penalties, including fines and sanctions against your company. In terms of trust and reputation, we need to make sure we have compliance with our industry standards and regulations to enhance our organization's reputation and foster trust among our customers and our partners. When it comes to data protection, compliance is going to help us by making sure that we're going through the data protection regulations properly to prevent data breaches and protect our privacy of our customers' and employees' data. Now, in terms of business continuity, our compliance with standards related to disaster recovery and business continuity can really help to ensure that our organization can continue to operate in the event of a disaster or disruption to our services. So, in this section of the course, we're going to be focused solely on Domain 5, and specifically, we'll be looking at Objective 5.1 and Objective 5.4. Now, Objective 5.1 states that you must be able to summarize elements of effective security governance, and Objective 5.4 states that you must be able to summarize elements of effective security compliance. Now, first, we're going to cover governance, and we're going to go over a much more detailed definition of governance as part of governance, risk, and compliance, and how these three will affect guidelines, policies, standards, and procedures. We'll also go over the need for monitoring and revision of your governance as technology, regulatory, and cultural changes occur within your industry. Then, we'll jump into a discussion on the different governance structures, including boards, committees, government entities, and centralized versus decentralized structures. We'll also explain each of these in detail and how they work and fit into your overall organization. After that, we'll talk about policies. Now, policies are high-level guidelines that outline the organization's commitments and intentions towards certain actions, such as data protection or ethical conduct. We're going to be discussing lots of topics in this lesson, including acceptable use policies, information security policies, business continuity policies, disaster recovery policies, incident response policies, change management policies, and the overall software development lifecycle known as the SDLC. Then, we're going to focus on standards. Standards are specific, mandatory actions or rules that must be followed to adhere to a policy, and these are often defined by an industry or regulatory body. We're also going to be covering things like password standards, access control standards, physical security standards, and encryption standards. Following that, we'll start talking about procedures. Now, procedures are step-by-step instructions on how to perform specific tasks or activities to ensure consistency and compliance with both policies and standards. We're going to be going over change management procedures, onboarding and offboarding procedures, and the use of playbooks. Then, we'll take a look at governance considerations, including regulatory considerations, legal considerations, industry considerations, local and regional considerations, national considerations, global considerations, and we'll also look at some of your legal issues that your organization could face if you run astray of any of these governance considerations. After that, we'll dive into compliance, and we'll be discussing compliance monitoring and reporting as we explain the different concepts like due diligence and due care, attestation and acknowledgement, internal and external compliance, and the use of automation in your compliance processes. Then we'll cover the consequences of non-compliance, including fines, sanctions, reputational damage, the loss of your license, and contractual impacts. Finally, we're going to take a short quiz to see what you learned during this section of the course and review each of those quiz questions fully to ensure that you can explain why each answer was right and why the wrong ones were wrong. So let's go ahead and jump into governance and compliance in this section of the course.